The entrepreneurial paradox: why Black women are rising in business but not profits. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today on this stage where ideas worth spreading take flight. I want to begin by acknowledging the brilliant mind behind the insights I'm about to share. Recently, I had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Naudia Camble, a visionary leader whose work has fundamentally transformed our understanding of entrepreneurship at the intersection of race and gender in America. Naudia isn't just collecting data, she's illuminating hidden truths and forging pathways to genuine economic equity. Her relentless pursuit of both statistical truth and human stories has created a blueprint for systemic change that business schools, venture capitalists, and policymakers are only beginning to comprehend. In a world of surface level diversity initiatives, Nadia digs deeper, asking not just who starts businesses, but who gets to succeed in them and why. What I learned from Nadia challenges one of our most cherished American beliefs, a belief so deeply ingrained in our national identity that questioning it feels almost sacrilegious. We've all heard it. Entrepreneurship is the great equalizer, the ultimate meritocracy, the path to wealth that's open to anyone with enough grit, determination, and a good idea. But what if I told you that for some groups, the entrepreneurial playing field isn't just uneven, it's fundamentally different terrain altogether? Here's a startling fact that stopped me in my tracks during my conversation with Nudia. Black women are currently the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the United States. Let that sink in. In a business landscape often criticized for its lack of diversity, Black women are stepping up, taking risks, and launching ventures at an unprecedented rate. This sounds like fantastic news, right? A clear sign of progress, a triumph of determination and vision. Yet beneath this inspiring headline lies a troubling reality that demands our attention. Despite making up 28% of Black entrepreneurs, only 15% of Black women business owners report making a profit. Just 15%. The fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in America is also among the least likely to achieve profitability. This isn't just a minor statistical anomaly. It's not just an interesting data point. It's a fundamental challenge to how we think about entrepreneurship, opportunity, and success in America. We've been taught that starting a business is the hard part, that once you've launched it, the path forward, while challenging, is relatively straightforward. Work hard, make good decisions, grow your customer base, increase revenue, achieve profitability. But what Nadia's research reveals is that for Black women entrepreneurs, starting the business is often the easiest part of the journey. The real challenges emerge in the quest for sustainability, scalability, and ultimately profitability. Why is this happening? What invisible barriers persist even after these determined women have taken the brave step of launching their businesses? The answer isn't simple, but it centers around three critical factors that Nadia emphasized throughout our conversation. First, access to capital remains a defining barrier. Despite their entrepreneurial drive, Black women face persistent challenges securing the funding necessary to grow and sustain their businesses. This isn't about a lack of viable business models or compelling visions, it's about systemic barriers that continue to limit who gets funded and who doesn't. The statistics are staggering. Less than 0.2% of venture capital funding goes to startups led by Black women. Not 2%, 0.2%. Imagine trying to compete in a race where your competitors have high performance vehicles and you're expected to keep pace on foot. That's the reality for too many Black women entrepreneurs. Second, networks matter enormously. Business doesn't happen in isolation, it thrives within ecosystems of mentorship, partnership, and opportunity. When these networks remain closed or difficult to access, even the most promising ventures struggle to gain traction. Think about it. How many business deals happen on golf courses, at exclusive clubs, or through alumni networks of prestigious institutions? These spaces have historically excluded people of color, and particularly women of color. The result is that Black women entrepreneurs often find themselves outside the rooms where opportunities are created and distributed. Third, and perhaps most insidiously, Black women entrepreneurs often face unique pressures to conform to expectations that weren't designed with them in mind. The very definition of successful entrepreneurship often reflects norms and values that don't acknowledge the specific challenges and opportunities they navigate. Many Black women entrepreneurs report feeling caught in an impossible bind, expected to downplay their identity to make others comfortable while simultaneously being tokenized as representatives of diversity. This psychological tax drains energy that could otherwise be directed toward building their businesses. But here's where our story takes a turn toward hope. Because despite these challenges, or perhaps because of them, Black women entrepreneurs are creating innovative solutions and building powerful support systems that are gradually reshaping the entrepreneurial landscape. Let me share three remarkable examples that Naudia highlighted during our conversation. Examples that illustrate both the challenges and the inspiring resilience of Black women entrepreneurs. The first is Walker's Legacy, founded by Natalie Madeira Cofield, named after Madam C.J. Walker, America's first self made female millionaire. This organization wasn't born from abstract theory. It emerged directly from Cofield's lived experience facing obstacles as an entrepreneur. When traditional doors remained closed, she didn't just accept that reality. She created a new door. Walker's Legacy has built an extensive network offering educational programming, access to capital workshops, peer mentoring groups, and advocacy initiatives specifically tailored for multicultural women entrepreneurs. Cofield leveraged her background in public policy to bridge gaps she'd personally encountered, creating a platform that has now become one of the most recognized resources supporting minority female founders across multiple cities in the US. The impact has been profound. Thousands of women have participated in their programs nationwide, with many reporting improved confidence in securing funds and scaling operations. More importantly, Walker's legacy has shifted narratives around what success looks like for multicultural women in entrepreneurship, building sustainable pathways toward economic empowerment. The second example is the Honey Pot Company, founded by B. Dixon. This company creates plant based feminine hygiene products now distributed nationally at major retailers like Target and Walmart. Dixon's journey epitomized both the challenges and possibilities for Black women entrepreneurs. She faced skepticism from investors due to being both a woman founder and specifically a woman of color in an industry historically dominated by large conglomerates. Early on, she even encountered social media backlash, questioning her legitimacy after highlighting her identity on national television. But rather than downplaying her identity, Dixon leaned into authentic storytelling about why representation matters. She used crowdfunding campaigns alongside traditional pitches, targeting mission aligned investors who valued diversity driven innovation. What makes Dixon's story particularly powerful is its origin. She started Honey Pot out of personal necessity when struggling with health issues no mainstream brand addressed adequately. This wasn't just about spotting a market opportunity, it was about solving a problem that affected her directly and countless others who had been overlooked by the industry. The result? Honey Pot became one of the few nationally distributed brands led by a Black woman founder within its category and saw exponential sales growth after viral customer support campaigns countered negative publicity. Dixon's success demonstrates that authenticity and purpose driven leadership can create both social impact and commercial success. The third example Naudia shared was Digital Undivided's Project Diane, a biennial research study illuminating data on startups led by Latina and Black women across America. Prior to Project Diane, industry reports either omitted data disaggregated by race and gender or underestimated startup activity among minority groups, making it difficult to advocate effectively. How can you solve a problem when its full dimensions remain hidden? How can you track progress when the baseline hasn't been established? Project Diane changed this by aggregating quantitative and qualitative insights into the unique challenges facing these founders. Founded after Catherine Finney struggled herself as a tech entrepreneur seeking unbiased data and tools, Project Diane has become a one of a kind benchmarking tool referenced globally whenever discussing intersectional entrepreneurship trends. Its findings have been cited widely across academia, policy, and business circles, driving new initiatives focused on closing resource gaps, from accelerators dedicated solely to Black and Latina tech founders to increased corporate accountability pledges. This is the power of making the invisible visible. These three examples illuminate something profound. The challenges facing Black women entrepreneurs are systemic, but so are the solutions emerging from within these communities. As Nadia emphasized, this isn't just about individual success stories, it's about creating new systems, new networks, and new definitions of success that reflect the full diversity of entrepreneurial experience. What's particularly striking about these initiatives is how they challenge our conventional wisdom about entrepreneurship. They remind us that true innovation isn't just about creating new products or services, it's also about creating new pathways to success, new models of support, and new visions of what entrepreneurial communities can look like. So, where do we go from here? How do we move from acknowledging these challenges to creating meaningful change? The answer begins with a fundamental shift in how we think about entrepreneurship itself. We need to recognize that the standard entrepreneurial narrative, the lone visionary who disrupts an industry through sheer force of will, fails to capture the complex realities that many entrepreneurs, particularly those from underrepresented groups, actually experience. We need to acknowledge that entrepreneurship doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens within systems, financial systems, educational systems, social systems that have historically excluded or marginalized certain groups. Changing outcomes requires changing these systems. But here's the hopeful part: this change is already happening. It's happening through organizations like Walker's Legacy, through companies like the Honey Pot, through research initiatives like Project Diane. It's happening through the determination and creativity of Black women entrepreneurs who refuse to accept the status quo, and it can happen through each of us. This isn't just a challenge for Black women to solve, it's a challenge for all of us who believe in the promise of entrepreneurship as a path to opportunity and economic empowerment. If you're an investor, ask yourself, are you evaluating potential investments through a lens that might unconsciously exclude certain founders? Are you actively seeking out entrepreneurs from underrepresented groups? If you're a business leader, consider, does your supply chain include diverse vendors? Are you mentoring entrepreneurs from backgrounds different from your own? If you're a consumer, reflect. Do you support businesses owned by Black women? Do you recognize the power of your purchasing decisions to create change? And if you're a policymaker or influencer, question, are you advocating for systems that truly create equal opportunity or merely equal access to fundamentally unequal systems? The rising tide of Black women entrepreneurs represents one of the most exciting developments in American business today. But our celebration must be coupled with commitment to addressing the barriers that still prevent too many of these entrepreneurs from achieving the profitability and sustainability they deserve. The gap between startup rates and profitability isn't just a problem for Black women entrepreneurs. It's a measure of how far we still have to go to create a truly inclusive economy, an economy where talent, vision, and determination are rewarded regardless of race or gender. As Naudia Camble's groundbreaking work shows us, we have both the data to understand the problem and examples of solutions that work. What we need now is the collective will to scale these solutions and transform our entrepreneurial ecosystem. I challenge each of you today. Don't just admire the problem. Don't just celebrate the resilience of those navigating broken systems. Commit to being part of the solution. Because when Black women entrepreneurs succeed, we all succeed through new products, new services, new jobs, and new visions of what's possible. Thank you.